So, California Governor Gavin Newsom says the U.S. is facing a 5-alarm fire, and he warns we won't have a country if President Trump advances his agenda. Watch.
I really am scared to death about what's going on in this country. I really believe it is code red. It's 5-alarm fire. It's breaking every hour of every day. This is a serious and sober moment. But I'll tell you what, we won't have a country. We won't have an election that's fair and free if we don't stand up. We won't. There will not be a fair and free election. It will be a Putin election.
Whoa. Our next guest has been a critic of Newsom and moved out of California after saying he was blacklisted from Hollywood for supporting Trump. Actor, star of Shazam and Chuck, and outspoken Hollywood conservative Zachary Levi joins us now. Zachary, thanks so much for joining the program. We were talking before we got on air. I'm surprised of the support in California of Newsom. After the fires and all of the lying and spinning, he still has a massive support there.
Yeah, I mean, like we were talking about before, I think, unfortunately, we've been so divided as people, right? We're told that you need to be a part of this tribe or you need to be a part of that tribe, and the other tribe is evil. No matter who's leading that tribe, that party, they must be evil. And so no matter how much good they might be doing with good policy, you can't vote for those people. Yeah. And I think that, unfortunately, there's a lot of people, a lot of friends that I have that are progressive, that are liberal, that are wonderful folks that are in California that are very disappointed with Gavin Newsom and how he has run that state into the ground. He has. The proof is in the pudding. No matter which state you're looking at, look at the policies, look at how they are taking care of the people or not taking care of the people. Obviously, the fires that have ravaged California for many years are evidence of this. I don't know. I can't look at Gavin Newsom in the face and believe anything that he says. Yeah. I feel like he's constantly lying. He's constantly spinning. He's constantly and also all this fear mongering.
Right.
This is fear mongering so that people just, again, are so afraid to vote for anyone other than him. And I think that that's a travesty. I think that if he actually cared, he would have been implementing policies that put California in a much better place when it comes to crime rates and poverty and homelessness. And I mean, it's a train wreck out there. And it's really sad. I love California.
It's the audacity for me. California literally had a five-alarm fire.
Actual five-alarm fire.
And he wasn't there to help anything to prevent it. The services is there. You got the homeless that are stealing from people. People just going into CVS. Businesses are fleeing. Residents like yourself that were a part of the tax base are gone because of his leadership.
Yeah.
Why?
Because people are waking up. And they recognize that, listen, it's very difficult to leave Southern California. It's perfect weather. I mean, speaking of the weather, right. It's perfect weather all the time. It feels very comfortable. And also our industry, Hollywood, was there in large part for a long time. But Hollywood has been outsourced everywhere else at this point to many other countries and other states. So there wasn't really a reason for me to stay, and a lot of other people in my industry, but also other industries flee, because why would you stay in a place that's taking all of your tax money at such exorbitant levels? It'd be one thing if you could see the evidence of positive change.
Right.
You want to tax me 50 cents on every dollar, but I'm looking at a state that's thriving and flourishing and people are living better lives. Maybe I could live with that. I still don't want you to take 50 cents out of every one of my dollars, right. But not that California's doing that. You understand what I'm saying? The federal government's doing that. But the point is, if you want to take our tax dollars, let us see the good that you're doing with that. If you're not showing that, then you shouldn't be taking our tax dollars.
So I want to talk about some good that you're doing. You're investing millions into the studio in Texas. You got a new movie coming out as well that's going to be on Amazon on the 7th. Tell us about it.
Yes, Sarah's Oil is the film. It's coming out November 7th on Amazon, or in theaters across the country, and then also it will follow up on Amazon. It's an amazing true story about a young girl, Sarah Rector, young black girl, turn of the century, Tulsa, Oklahoma, in still a very divided, very racist, time in our history. I do feel like we've done a lot to make that better. I think a lot of people feel like we're still stuck back then, and I don't believe that we are. But at that point in time, it was still very, very divided, obviously. But she was a very intelligent, precocious, spirit-filled girl who could read and write, and she was reading the paper, and she saw that the oil boom was coming across the country. Now, she and her family were previously enslaved by one of the indigenous tribes. A lot of people don't know that, but all the indigenous tribes also had slaves.
Right.
And when the United States outlawed slavery, the tribes did as well, and they turned those slaves into freedmen, tribal members. When the United States then gave the tribes back land, because she was older than 10 years old, she got her own portion of 160 acres that the government thought was kind of some crap land because she couldn't grow anything on it. But she went to her land and she prayed over her land and she believed that God told her that there was oil in her land. And not only was there oil in her land, but it was the largest, purest oil reserve in like all of North America. She became the richest woman in the United States in that moment once she struck that gusher. And I play this character, Bert Smith, who's this kind of, charming, opportunistic wildcatter, a little bit of a rogue who's in it for himself, but then is really transformed by Sarah's amazing faith and love and her family. It's a beautiful, true story that's diverse and about a strong young black girl who really, against all odds, like I said, becomes the richest woman in America. And when I read that script, I was like, why don't I know this story? Why doesn't the world know this story? It deserves to be told, and gratefully we were able to tell it.
Go out and see it. I'm going to go see it. That's just American history right there. I love it, brother.
Amen.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.